you Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Haven of Horrors. We will be having a player join us in about 10 minutes. They have a class, but their class ends at 11:50, so Castro will be joining us very shortly, at which point I will have them introduce themselves. But in the meantime, hello, I'm Rue. I'm your narrator for this game, and we have a new face joining us. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, hello. I'm Quinn at Quintastic_ on Twitter. I do stuff and also things in TTRPG. My pronouns are she, they, and I'll be playing Blair, whose pronouns are they, she, and they, you'll see.
And we also have Ro with us.
Hello, I'm Ro. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm playing Alina, which at this point I think people already know who Alina is. She's Death Grandma.
Murder Grandma. What's our? I haven't looked at our layout in a while. What's our kill count at for?
What's
Alina?
our kill count for Alina? Yeah, because I killed a building last time.
Yeah, I think we should count that as at least a couple. I haven't checked our kill counts in a while.
Yeah, I sort of lost track too. Of
there are kill counts?
Oh,
my
yeah,
kill count.
I
have
has
one.
Everyone
has a counter of something.
Counter. Maria's is wondering why she got this job or something. Alina's is killing people. Vivian's is not giving a fuck. And I think that's it. I think those are. Does PbtA have one? Oh
no, PbtA had arson counter.
PbtA's is an arson counter.
Incredible.
You can take a moment to think about what you'd like Blair's counter to be.
I think you might know.
We may or may not have Ari joining us today as Vivian. He's been quite busy lately with some personal stuff. So if he jumps in, we will have Vivian. If not, we will have a smaller cast today, which is totally fine. And I've forgotten something. This is not a case episode. This will be sort of an introduction to our new character and saying goodbye to an old one sort of episode. So the content warnings work a little differently. We will be going into the archive and there will be potentially some content warnings, but I will be giving them periodically as we enter certain areas, as opposed to an overarching theme for the whole episode. So at any given point, I will stop and give us content warnings. And if at any of those points, something in the content is something that's triggering for you or upsetting, please feel free to step back. Your safety means much more than watching our stream. So thank you. And with that, thank you, Nova, for giving us our things. It's times Maria feared for her life, PbtA committed arson, Alina committed murder, and Vivian gave a fuck. So it's the opposite. Vivian's constantly not giving a fuck. But yeah.
I think the counter was at a 1, like at one point. I think
Vivian is given a fuck. We'll see if that ever goes up. I don't know what mine would be. Damien is a disaster. But yeah, we're going to start with an independent scene with Alina outside of the archive. Alina, have you gone back? Times Damien had a work stress related breakdown. Ooh, that's a good one. I think we're at like 10. Have you gone back to since freeing the spirits? Have you gone back to the graveyard recently?
Every now and then, I imagine Alina would go, if only to check on, and also because she freed all those spirits at one point, and she has been on her off time. Taking care of that.
Ghost hunting, right?
She's been ghost hunting on the side because she fucked up.
Would you like to make me just a flat power roll to see how her ghost hunting has been going?
Okay, I'm assuming that's with the better alone power.
Yes, you are working by yourself, so yes.
So I'm throwing with +4, which I don't think is meant to be possible with this system. That's 12.
Woo! Yeah, You've been having a really good time ghost hunting. It's not been. I mean,
It's not that
it's been-
hard.
It's not that hard. It's probably like just not like it's difficult. It's just kind of probably frustrating. Like, oh well, I'm off at my day job. Time to go hunt some ghosts. But for the most part, the ghosts that you released from
Deleting
beyond
ghosts.
the veil, the ghosts that you released from beyond the veil have stayed in the general vicinity. This place, this area is very heavy in power, and so they've all kind of stuck around, which makes it easy to find them and do what you need to do. Um, but yeah, so it's quite easy to return them to where they're supposed to be uh, after a little bit of wrangling. But yeah, so on one of your, what do you do when you visit the graveyard?
Probably just drink some tea, sit on a bench.
Yeah.
If it's anything like the graveyard I have on my mind, it's kind of also like a park, which some graveyards are.
Like it's like an old-fashioned graveyard. So yeah, there's like a little park and like gazebo area in sort of like the middle, and then the graves go out from it and things like that. And there's also like it's an old graveyard in that like not many people come to visit it as often as would come to a more modern graveyard because most of the folks that are interred here have been here a while and either their families don't live here anymore or don't there is no one to visit them, things like that. So it's a pretty not totally empty, but emptier than say like a modern graveyard would be.
If anyone asks what I'm doing here, just like waiting my turn. Oh, I thought I'd save people like the trip, just be here waiting for it.
You tell someone that on one of your visits and they like make like a scared face and they say, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
That's the kind of sense of humor Alina has.
And they're like they just worry that she's picked a plot and is just gonna sit in it. But hey, she's 142. She can do what she wants. Alina looks like Alina looks old enough to be visiting the people who are interred in this graveyard. Yeah,
She certainly dresses like that.
You are just sort of sitting, having a grand old time, drinking your tea.
Yeah.
And I would like you. I don't. Is it? I don't know if it would. I don't even know if you need to make a check because thought checks are weird for like perception. I don't really have a perception stat in this game that I built for myself.
I do have an ability that regards perception.
Okay.
I can sort of see without seeing. I have blind sight, I guess.
Yeah, you do, essentially. But yeah, you. So it's more of a hearing. It's like out of the corner of your ear, which is a weird way to say it. You just hear the sound of like tapping over gravel, like gentle, repetitive tapping over gravel, and the soft like crunch of footfalls.
Okay. I'm going to check who is there.
You turn from where you are on the bench, and there is a very familiar figure standing not too far down the path from you, probably about 20 feet down the path. Still walking, hasn't noticed you yet necessarily. Wrapped very like tightly in a jacket and a scarf, and wearing a pair of prescription all blacked out glasses, and holding a cane. I forget the word for seeing canes, but a seeing cane. And she looks a lot better than the last time you saw her, like eons better than the last time you saw her.
In what regard?
Healthier.
Emotionally?
Physically and emotionally, she just looks healthier than the last time you saw her. But walking down the path, having not seen you obviously, but having not noticed you yet, is Zell, the old archivist. The former archivists, very specifically.
I will not say anything. I'm just watching for now.
Okay.
I want to see
Yeah.
what she's doing first.
Yeah. She walks past you, and if you're not making any meaningful noises, she doesn't look your way and notice necessarily. Um, and sort of makes her way past you down the path to uh, like the same area of the cluster of graves where you know that Rupert Crane was disinterred from,
Yes.
and just sort of heads down that way and stops in that general vicinity, but isn't doing anything as far as you can tell from where you're at. Hi, Kestrel.
Hello, Kestrel.
Hello.
I will go to her.
Okay. When you approach, she hears you coming, and sort of like turns and like tilts her head, and still not seeing you, says, "Am I in your way? I'm sorry."
No, you're not in my way.
She sort of smiles and like is her face is surprised. And just, maybe I should have expected you to be here. All things considered.
You look well.
Thank you. Uh, do you look well?
I don't think I look meaningfully different from the last time you saw me. I am maybe worse than the last time you saw me, but not physically or emotionally.
Just worse in general?
No, let's say in matters of the soul, I may be worse off.
Oh. Well, I can't really make very many judgments on that front, given the circumstances.
I've been looking for you.
Oh, it's very difficult to find me now.
I noticed. I think I'm surprised to find you surprised at seeing me. Well, seeing, you know what I mean. Encountering.
Yes.
I suspected that if I ever found you, it would be because you allowed it.
I guess in some ways. I mean, if I didn't want you to find me at all, I would have left the city and never come back. But I'm well hidden enough. The eye can't see the things that can't see it.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. I've taken some precautions in the eventuality that I might need to take a similar path, but I wanted to know what you were up to. I think I have a good idea. But
I would love to hear what your ideas of what I've been up to are. But, well, I may have quit my job, but there are some things that you never quite lose, and one of them is curiosity, a want for answers. Now it's just easier because I can find things out without anyone else knowing.
right. I'm wondering what they are planning And I'm imagining you have been thinking about the same thing.
Yes.
In fact, and I will point at the grave and then realize that I'm doing
Pointing.
something visual and say, it is in fact because of this incident, this grave, that I got a lead on you.
Rupert
I'm
Crane.
now worried that my investigation has put you in, or at least your goals, in jeopardy. Because if I can be seen and I've been looking for you, well, the Institute might know.
It is a careful balance. Some things close to me are harder to see. But of course, the more things around me that the eye can touch, the easier it is for it to see me.
Right.
But don't worry about you putting me in danger. I've been coming here of my own accord.
I've never been as good at investigating as you. I simply do
Well,
not
we all
have
have
the
our
knack for it.
skills. I've never been
Yeah.
as good at persuasion as you are.
I'm more of a people person, yes. Do you know what this whole deal with Crane and the buildings is about?
That's most of what I've been working on since leaving. All I know is that I have compiled a map, essentially, of the more distinctive pieces of Crane's architecture and mapped that over with the cases that I remember and other ones that I've heard tell of, and formed a grid of intersections between the various entities and where they cross. I can't, however, determine if Crane was harnessing that power or attempting to contain it.
I've been trying, I don't know, to run interference, I suppose. I don't think the plan bodes well for the world. Whatever Crane meant to do, I have never been one to trust men in power.
No.
There
I
is a
don't think that's
pattern
a
of
good idea.
behavior. If they're trying to stop something, I'm sure they had some ulterior motives. But yes, I honestly do not know if what I'm doing is helping or harming.
Well, in my current position, I don't have the perspective I might have once had. I lost all of that when I set myself free.
Yes.
There has been a lot of activity lately. I don't know if that's because of the work that the Institute does or if something else is coming.
Me and the rest of, let's say, the investigation branch of the Institute have been, I think, or at least we try to keep things subdued, balanced, as you may have heard me said before. But I do not trust the Institute to not be directing us in the way that our activities are more beneficial to them.
Yes. That is possible.
If something big is coming. I'm worried of what worried. I would prefer it if I didn't have to destroy the institute.
Fair. I don't know what destroying it or not would or wouldn't do necessarily.
Hence why I haven't done it yet.
It has very deep ties, but they can be broken, just not necessarily in the most pleasant of ways.
Well, this is annoying. I expected everything would become clear once I found you.
Well, regrettably, clear isn't exactly something I can do anymore.
Yes. I suppose that makes sense.
But I think if I could see the answer, if I was the kind of person who could see the answer, I wouldn't help you.
I understand.
Well, I can arrange for a copy of my map that I've been working on to be brought here. I would prefer that it not cross into the Institute if at all possible. But maybe with that, you can make some headway.
So, this isn't goodbye then.
Hopefully not.
Very well. You'll be able to find me here every now and then. I might have been coming here to find you, but I found an enjoyable calm in this place.
It is mostly a pretty good atmosphere. Although I suppose you feel it a lot more than I do.
I think we're both pretty much marked by this kind of place. I guess we'll see each other again. Hopefully, we'll save the world again.
Wow. Well, those are lofty ideals, but what have we got to lose at this point, right?
Yes.
Take care and be careful in the Institute.
I'm always careful. In my own way.
A very quiet chuckle. She knows what you mean. She shifts her cane from one hand to the other and, like, in your general direction, like, puts out a hand.
I will take her hand.
Just, like, pats it, smiles. I'm glad you're still around. Though, I'm sorry you're still with the archive.
Well, I might not be either of those things for much longer, so we better hurry.
True. Best if I get going. Unwanted eyes are not exactly the thing that I look for these days.
We'll see each other again. It's good to have found you. And Alina uncharacteristically has a genuine smile on her face.
Yeah.
It's almost an alien sensation at this point for her.
Zell smiles back and says, I'm glad we've met on these terms. Because I think our friendship would not be the same had I not left.
Well, to business then.
To business. Be safe. Or as safe as you can be.
Yes. Same to you. And Alina will leave. She has had too much tenderness for this year. She's overwhelmed.
Another quota. Yeah. You can head back and think on that information as you will.
Yeah.
Castrol, would you like to introduce yourself because you weren't here when we started?
Yes, my name's Kestrel. I use Z, Zim, Zers pronouns, and I'm playing PbtA, who uses they, them, their.
Cool. Welcome. And I don't know that you've met via Zoom yet. So Kestrel, this is Blair, and Blair, this is Kestrel.
Nice to meet
Blair,
you.
you're Quinn. You're playing Blair. Sorry about that. I read the wrong name in my brain. But yeah.
I opened the wrong drawing program and just got jump scared by
Oh, no.
Among Us.
Oh no!
My friend posted an orange orb and said, turn this into whatever you want. And so I turned it into Among Us and it just jump scared me.
But yeah. I wanted to know, Kestrel, if there was a scene you wanted to do with PbtA before we went to the archive and introduced our new person. If there isn't, you don't have to.
Honestly, PbtA really doesn't do a lot.
Fair enough.
Other than like hang out at the bus stop and glare at cops.
Oh, I love them.
Never ride the bus, they just sit there
Glare at
angrily.
cops.
Because in my experience, there's always a cop at like a bus station who's harassing a homeless person for no reason.
Oh, yeah.
Just for like the crime of sitting there. And in my city, the police station is attached to the bus stop for some fucking reason.
Oh,
So
I
they're
hate
just
that.
there all the time. And I'm like, you guys need to fuck off.
That's fucking horrible.
Sorry for my cop rant. I hate them.
No need to apologize. But yeah, so you all come into the archive, or well, rather, the two of you come into the archive. You notice that there is sort of a memo that has been left on Maria's desk that is typewritten and then signed with Harani's name at the bottom that says that Maria has been placed on special assignment and will be returning when her work is finished. But that there was a very particular assignment that Maria had to be placed on, and so you would likely not be seeing her in the office anytime soon.
I will think very loudly, Harani, I know you're listening. If Maria dies, you're going to be fucked. And that's right, I cursed because it's my mind and not something I'm saying out loud.
It's okay to say fuck if it's in my brain.
Right.
You do think that.
I think it very hard.
Perhaps 13 floors up, there's a response. Perhaps, you don't know.
Them like seven floors up. Why did I just feel like someone's cursing in the Institute?
I can hear it.
Harani
feel it.
suddenly going like, my life is in danger.
Just like that one
Thank you.
meme that's like, I'm in danger.
Yeah. Other than that, Vivian's desk is also empty, but Vivian has been spending more and more time sort of digging deep into archival records lately, so you assume that's likely where she is, either examining the archives or out on some sort of personal vendetta mission on a cold case from the archives from 14 years ago or something. She's just been taking to solving them in her free time. You're not
Everyone
sure if
needs a
she's
hobby.
leaving. Yeah, you're not sure what if she leaves now. The collection of outfits that she keeps in her office already has only gotten bigger. She's got like a whole closet in there now.
Incredibly valid of her.
But yeah, so it's just the two of you in the office, and then Damien in their office.
Cool. I'll go see Damien.
And Damien looks up and goes, "Oh, hello. Tell me, is there someone here to see me?"
Not that I know of. Do you have an appointment? I'm not your secretary, you know.
No, I got caught in the statement. I thought maybe I'd missed something. We're supposed to be getting a new archive assistant today. The front desk sent them down an hour ago. I assumed they would have made it down here at some point.
Maybe they got lost.
Maybe they got lost.
Which is way more sinister an implication in this building than in any other. Good, because I hope they make it because we are a bit short-staffed lately. Do you want me to go look for them?
I think we probably should go look for them.
Do you have a description?
PbtA pulls like a cup of coffee out of their jacket and takes a sip and says, "We're losing people."
How do you have a cup of coffee filled in your, you know what, it doesn't matter.
Only half full. If it's fully full, it will spill.
This is very unrelated, but I really am impressed about the things that you have in your coat.
Practice. That's all APS says on that.
I don't know what they look like. Their name is Blair.
I guess we just wander the halls shouting their name and hope for the best. And hope that they answer and not something else.
Yeah. Well, we should probably make sure that they make it at least to here. They might promptly leave, but at least we can make sure they don't get thrown into a mannequin box or something.
I'm going to stand guard near the vault because that's the worst part they could wander into. And maybe PbtA, do you want to search the rest of the building?
Can do.
You're by the artifact storage?
Right, the vault. The artifact storage.
Vault.
You know. The vault. I had like Fallout vault images in my head.
The bank vault. It's just
right
there.
We have all that evil, spooky gold in a vault.
Haunted. We got it from specifically haunted Fort Knox, which is different than regular Fort Knox because it's haunted.
Actually, Harani is just committing evil tax fraud.
Where do they get the funding from?
It's unclear. At least it's unclear on a public level where they get the funding from. Presumably they get it somehow because you are getting paid. But it's
I mean, I really
unclear how.
shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth, but I think this horse is haunted.
The horse might be undead.
This is the undead horse that I've given you.
This
Good
is the
luck.
undead horse that produces the gold that the Institute uses to fund their nonsense.
You shouldn't look it in the mouth, but it's kind of hard because they don't have any lips, so you can just see the teeth.
Just teeth.
This horse is made of teeth. This is the real reason why you guys keep me in the games, because I provide the funnies.
This horse is made of teeth. Yeah, Damien just sort of sighs and says, we should probably make sure that they made it somewhere. Maybe we're lucky and they just got caught up in accounting.
Maybe they were lucky. Maybe they were lucky and they died. That's a joke.
He kind of like makes it look like he's gonna make a comment and then just kind of like agrees, just nods. You're not wrong. It sometimes is more likely to die here than end up working here. And just, well, all right. I guess we just start looking. I don't know what they look like. I guess if they look unfamiliar, but that doesn't mean anything.
I don't know
Given that
anyone here, but that's because I don't care.
Given that, like, PbtA always looks vaguely unfamiliar because that's just how they are.
Yeah. You know, it's just like that. Yeah. Damien grabs their cane and gets up from behind their desk and just sighs and says, all right. I guess we're playing hide and seek.
My least favorite place to play hide and seek, right behind my high school, which is full of asbestos.
Also a bad place to hide and seek.
Is the institute full of asbestos?
Probably.
I think I've told this story before, but there was a game at my high school called Avanti Hounds where you hide in the basement of the old gymnasium, which is full of the Halloween props and asbestos. So, and it's in that you play it in the dark, and the two locker rooms are like connected in kind of a horseshoe, and two people walk through and they can't turn around in the darkness, and you have to hide from them, and your mission is to escape.
Oh,
How
many?
I love school in America.
How many children have died playing that game? Like a
I don't know,
ballpark
but
number, give me.
Was this part of PE?
Yeah. Sometimes if we had extra time, the teacher was just like, yeah, let's go to the basement, fuck around. Try not to fucking die.
I love American school so much.
Our PE teacher was a lesbian and also our math teacher, and she was great.
That's awesome.
She let us play in the asbestos basement.
In my middle
One
school,
extra hour in the asbestos basement.
Mom said it's my turn in the asbestos basement.
In my middle school, the crawl space under the stage was not like a real pit or anything because it was a multi-purpose room. But the crawl space under the stage was home to a den of content warning spiders. Was home to a den of black widows. There were just hundreds of them. It was the worst, and that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah,
hey.
American school. It's great.
3 cheers to trying not to die of asbestos.
Woohoo! But yeah, you exit the little archive offices that you all spend a fair amount of time in, and you have ample options. You can go up into the main floors of the building and see if perhaps Blair is just doing paperwork on the 3rd floor like a normal person. Or you can go down into the artifact storage, or you can go into the stacks where all the old cases are and things like that. Or you could go into the deep sub basement, which you've been to once and doesn't seem to have much in it, but it is there.
If they are there, I'd say we already need to be looking for someone new. I'm old, so I don't want to be walking around a lot. And I'll be hanging around artifact storage and just pointing at people and saying, "Are you Blair? No? Move. Get on with it." And
The
just like
artifacts,
that's my way of looking for people.
the artifact storage's staff is entirely different from the last time you were there. You don't recognize a single one of them. They've all been eaten in some way and then replaced, presumably.
Are any
But
of
this-
you Blair?
But this happens fairly often. You're just kind of used to not seeing the like research assistants for more than like 2 months. It's the worst.
We
it's the
run a
worst-
tight ship.
It's the worst place to be hired to. If you make it longer than a couple of months, it's like a miracle. But yeah,
Quote unquote miracle.
you're
At what cost did you
At what
survive?
cost? Good question. Yeah, the no one that you stopped who is a research assistant is Blair.
Okay.
But you can keep asking them as they walk past.
I'll keep asking. I have nothing better to do. This is in company time.
You're getting paid to play hide and go seek. Castro, what area would Apia like to search?
Is there a my brain isn't working.
Oh, you're totally fine.
Did you list a basement as one of the options? Or are we in the basement?
Well, so you're in the basement, but there are 2 sub levels of the basement. So you're on like the first level of the basement. Then the
I would
next
like to
level
go as
down-
far I would like to go as far down as possible.
Cool.
Throw me in the ground.
That's the third sub basement, which is the sort of weird, dingy, like old architecture space that you went to. Like you went there once when you were first investigating the grave sites and the buildings that Rupert Crane built.
Okay.
But yeah, so you go down through the down past the floor that Alina is on, which is the floor with the artifact storage and the stacks, and down to the third sub basement, which is old and like vaulted arch architecture, that kind of like mid to late 1800s Gothic style architecture, but like almost like a sewer system. Like you're not quite in the sewer, but this is like the sub basement that leads to what used to be a sewer structure and stuff.
You can go to the
Okay.
sewer if you're really dedicated.
You can get to the sewer from here if you're dedicated, yes.
Well, I'm not going into the sewer. I can tell you that for free.
For free, for $0.
For $0, I will tell you I'm not going in the sewer. We're not doing that.
Fair enough.
It's always the worst level in any game.
Any video game.
I don't want to play the water level of the Institute.
Yeah, the water level of the Institute, I think, would be a very bad time. Don't do it. But yeah, so you get down to the sub basement. Down here feels weirder than normal. I mean, the Institute always feels weird, but down here, it's not the oppressive sensation of being watched that you got in the room with the mannequins from all the cameras. But there's just sort of like a very heavy presence in this space. Like the air is thicker and heavier, and like you keep turning over your shoulder and like looking back as if you hear someone or something, but there's nothing else there.
Hate it. All right. Cool. I'm just looking for anyone,
Yep.
basically.
Go ahead and you can make thought rolls to sort of like look around. or you can make a power roll to like use your abilities to see if you can sense anyone.
Yeah, I think I'd like to do a power roll. I gotta open my. I forgot to open my goddamn sheet. Yeah, I'm gonna do power.
Okay.
Why are my dice sticking together? It's too warm. My dice are sticking together.
That's no good.
I got an 8.
A partial success. You sort of like feel around for anything or anyone else. This area of the basement, at least the part that you're in, seems to be fairly bereft of people. They're like no one goes down here willingly, really. It's kind of gross and stingy. Not stingy, dingy. That's the word. And like but like what you can tell from sort of like the residual presence is that, and like some looking around, is that someone definitely has been coming down here. It's not as like gross as it was the last time you were here. Someone has moved some boxes around and things like that. So like you do know that people have been coming down here, but there isn't currently anyone down here.
Okay. Well, that's that, I guess.
Yeah. You can head back up to wherever you'd like to head. Damien is searching the stacks. He walks past Alina and sort of like nods, and then walks into the room that is full of just boxes on boxes of files and folders and books and everything else that has ever been submitted to the Institute that is like not cursed, essentially, lives in the stacks. So like there are like whole sections that are like fake statements, quote unquote, where it's like this person may have actually had some sort of horrible experience, but it clearly wasn't related to an entity, so we don't care about it. And we won't help them in any way. It's and like this is where a lot of the like statements that Damien sorts through that you don't get consulted on wind up, essentially, because they're not real or important enough to consult on. And just walking through and walking down the aisles and sort of looking around, not seemingly seeing anyone except for Vivian, who is sitting on the floor with 4 files open around her, sort of reading all 4 at once, like absorbing the information at a frankly terrifying rate. Just like 4 different files open and like eyes flicking between them and like seeming to be simultaneously reading 4 files, and Damien just kind of like looks her over, makes sure that she's breathing and not just sitting here, and then just kind of backs up and walks away and keeps looking for the archival assistant, who they also can't seem to find. And then you can all meet up back where Alina is at the artifact storage and just, well, I didn't find anyone. Did anyone come past here? I assume not, or else you'd have someone with you.
Is there any place that we have left to search?
I mean, unless they went into the vault, but they don't have credentials yet, so presumably someone wouldn't have let them in.
I'm gonna check the vault real quick.
You can have a quick peek around. Same as PbtA, you can use thought to sort of like perceive the things around you, or you can use power to see if you can feel a presence you're not used to.
No, I'll use a thought with my. I'm going alone, so I have a +1, and I have my sightless sight thing, so that
so you
might
don't have
help.
to see necessarily, yeah.
Right. If there's someone in the corner, I'm like, I see you.
I'm aware of you.
And I rolled a 6 and a 5 plus 2 because of the thing. That's
13.
13.
Whoa, yeah. You're sort of wandering the space One second. Check. You're sort of wandering up and down the aisles, checking over, and like while you're here, you just kind of in general make a stock of things that are missing or not missing that were last time. There are a couple of objects that have been moved. There is like some things are not where they used to be or are not present at all. But most importantly, as you're walking, you get more of a sense that someone was here and moved things a little deliberately. Not like when the research assistants grab things and take them for research and then bring them back. Someone has sort of deliberately, but only slightly, adjusted the organizational system that's here, like moved a plaque over a couple of inches or moved a book slightly out of its space where it was. Still in its like general area, but not where it used to be.
Okay, have they made it more or less organized? Because I have been trying to make it more organized, and this is encroaching in my domain. Is that a word, encroaching, or have I just made it up?
No, it's a word.
Encroaching is a word. You're good.
Not like in total disarray, but in a way that like, you know how if you have your furniture set in your room and if someone were to come in and move every piece of furniture 2 inches, you would know?
Yes, but there's very little space in my apartment, so I would like to see them try to move anything. But yeah, I will grab a thing and put it back where it's meant to be and look around to see if that calls the attention of whoever messed up my shit.
Aside from those like little things, you don't see anyone new here, and you don't feel any sort of unusual presences in the space, except for the lingering, like, there's a lingering sort of like a lingering presence that you haven't experienced before, in the way that like you sort of can feel when other people have some level of influence over them in a sense. This is an aura you have not felt in a very long time.
But I have felt it before, or is it like a new presence?
A new presence in terms of person.
Okay, I will sit down and I will not look for them. I'm going to astrally project.
Okay. Yep, you can astral project.
Look around.
There's no one, like no ghosts or anything here. But around the very, very, very edges of like the room and sort of like currently stealing off and like fading away, there is like faint wisps of fog that are lingering but passing.
Can I use my newfound connection to a certain entity to sort of get in that space?
You can try and face your fear. It will be difficult because it is not your main fear, but you can try.
Okay. What do I roll to face fear? I don't think I have ever done it because I'm completely fearless.
You roll power to face your fear.
Easy.
And I will say, because this is not your chief entity, take a -1 to your roll.
Do I have a +1 because I'm going alone? So it cancels out, maybe?
Not for this because of what you're doing.
Right. The fact that I have a connection is the thing that's allowing me to even try.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, it's still +2. Let's see if I gain experience.
Woo!
No, I'm rolling really well
You're rolling
tonight.
really well.
It's a 6 and a 5 plus 2. Math, no. Yeah, 13 again.
13.
Simple
You said-
addition, my old enemy.
Did you unastral project, or are you trying to reach?
No, I'm trying to sort of project my astral self into the thing.
Got it. So you're projecting a second tier into the other space that you are guessing at. Yeah, with the 13, you sort of grab a hold of this newfound little tangential link that you've made over time, and follow it and the wisps and that misty, smoky fog clouds more and more of the space that you're in, until you are in a version of the stacks, or rather the artifact storage, that is entirely enshrouded in fog. You can see the vague outlines of the bookcases and the shelves and things, but everything's distant, and if you were to move towards it, it wouldn't get any closer, that sort of sense. Everything here is far apart and hard to feel and hard to touch, and just sort of enshrouded in fog that hides its details. But you are here, wherever here is.
I assume I don't see anyone.
1 second. I have to check something.
Alina will very exasperately say out loud, I don't think anyone can hear me because I'm a ghost, but she will be like, oh, it's one of these.
You look around, and as far as you can see, well, that's not true. There are people here. Distantly, you can see shadows in the fog. You can see figures walking and maneuvering and wandering, lost. But none of them are distinct figures. And you know from your experience that if someone were like you projecting into this place, you would be able to see them a little bit more sharply. Not necessarily like clear, but people who are here by choice are clearer than people who are not here by choice, if that makes sense.
Right. I'm wondering if this emanates from one of the objects in the archive, this sort of, I guess, it's, I don't know if it's really like a space within space, but it might, Alina at least, who prefers to think of everything in very concrete terms. She's not very into metaphysical stuff. She's simple.
Fuck metaphysics.
Yeah, fuck all
them.
these metaphorical spaces and subtext and shit. She will try to think of it as a sort of extra-dimensional space, essentially.
Yeah.
She has been in the archive. Could this be the work of something that we already have, or is this something new?
You know that you have like a couple of artifacts and like objects that have connections to the Lonely. You know that you have them, but and like you know from reading statements that like being shunted into this fog space is sort of associated with it. But you don't have anything that is like a portable doorway in.
Right.
You've projected yourself into this space by connecting to it, but like you would like it's not like you could touch an object and just be auto sent here.
Right. Wouldn't since I'm astrally projecting, considering that we are not on the real world, can I be more, even if I'm astrally projecting, can I be more material-ish while being here?
Like what do you mean by that? Sorry.
Right. Yeah, it is kind of a complicated thing to think, but like in the when we're in like the normal real world, if I'm astrally projecting, I can't really interact with anything because
Yeah,
I'm
you can't touch things.
just like a ghost. But considering that we are not in the real world, even if I'm just like a projected thought, if we are in a place that's more thought than matter, would that make me, in a sense, more material here than I would be in the real world?
Yes-ish. You, like because this is a metaphysical space, as a spirit, you do have more like physical presence than you would in the material world. Yeah.
Right. Alina hates this shit, but I like it. So yeah, essentially, I wanted to know if it would make sense for me to try to call out to Blair, and that's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'm gonna be like, is Blair here? I'm gonna start killing things.
I'm gonna start killing things. Are you moving? Like, are you walking around? Or are you staying where you are?
I mean, I try, but I don't know how much I can move really, considering the relativity of space in here.
Yeah, it's just like any direction you go in, things don't seem to get closer in any way. So
Alina is always trapped in this kind of places in this campaign.
And this time Vivian's not here to brain you out, and Maria's not here to body you out.
Yeah.
It's just us, a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, so you're just sort of calling out to Blair.
Yeah.
Like there doesn't seem, your voice seems to fall very quietly. Like even though you are metaphysically yelling, your voice doesn't seem to carry further than the couple of feet in front of you. It is extremely isolating to sort of actually hear your own voice fall dead, fall silent, fall flat before anyone would possibly have a chance to hear it. So
Okay.
you can tell from just that alone that if Blair is here, she's not, there's no way necessarily for them to be close enough to hear you unless she was right next to you.
I'll look around and loudly complain, like, are we going to have to do this like every day when we have to go to a case? Is this going to be a thing?
This is getting out of control.
Better not be.
Apia, what did you do? Like, sorry, I just want to check in and make sure that Kestrel doesn't feel.
I don't know. I'm still just wandering around, feeling around with my metaphysical powers.
Fucking up every computerized lock you walk past in the process.
Yeah, pretty much. Also, I almost never leave the basement, so if I happen to walk into an office room on accident, that's gonna suck.
Yeah, if you walk into the upstairs offices, like everyone's computers start just like crashing.
Fucking up, everything's gone ape shit. Yeah, I'm just kind of feeling around for energy that feels like I haven't felt it before, basically.
Yeah, but are you staying in the like basement zone, or are you traveling up and down the tower?
I'm just getting in the elevator, pushing a random button, and walking around.
Perfect. You can feel like a lingering essence that you've never felt before in the elevator.
Huh.
So you get the sense that someone new has definitely used the elevator.
Yeah.
But none of the except for the top floor, which you can take the elevator to and get off at, but you can't like enter Harani's office without being shown in. That floor has the same sort of like someone was here presence, but the other floors don't seem to have that same
Oh, so they got in the elevator and vanished.
You could also feel it like in the basement space, so you get the sense that they got off in the basement. But
Okay. I guess I'm just gonna get off on the floor that feels the most weird.
It's
Go with
a
you.
it's a very competitive scene.
Yeah. There's a lot happening right now.
Yeah.
You get off.
I mean,
the
AB is
elevator.
5 steps away from fucking up the elevator and getting into the elevator shaft, so you know.
You step out on the archive floor, which is one of the archive floor and the artifact storage floor both feel pretty weird in general. The archive floor has some weirdness to it, but the artifact storage floor now has an extremely weird presence, and like you can feel sort of like an ebb and flow sort of essence from the artifact storage floor.
I really wish I had leveled up recently because I could use the instill life to just send a bunch of tiny dudes all over the institute.
Yeah.
I haven't leveled up in like 8 sessions.
You're so good at rolling.
I just keep rolling like partial successes, just like enough that I don't get experience, but not enough that it does anything. Yeah, I'm just wandering around.
I don't think
fucking shit
Vivian's
up.
leveled up at all. She succeeds on
Yeah.
every roll. I don't think she's leveled up a single time.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, I'm specifically looking for like unusual weird because I know there's the usual weird.
Yeah. That is like that unusualness, which feels kind of like cold.
They're fucking
and
lost in archive surgery or archive storage. I'm gonna riot. I hate it.
The feeling as you like approach the archive storage is like a cold sort of numbness.
Okay.
Like when you've been standing out in the rain for too long, and that sort of cold numbness has seeped into your hands and legs.
Well, I guess I'm going in there. I'm gonna look at the nearest camera and I'm gonna like say, you can spy on the entire institute, but you can't find our fucking archivist.
Today is fuck Harani Day, and I really appreciate that.
We've all decided we've had enough, honestly.
We're done.
Why is it my job to wander around the institute, look for the archivist? I'm not in charge and I don't have eyes everywhere.
You enter the artifact storage zone, and you've seen Alina do the astral projection thing before. It sort of leaves her kind of like staring off into space wherever she is. You know that it leaves her body unprotected while her spirit is floating around. You can't quite feel where Alina's spirit is presently.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the only strange thing about the hallway that you're in. The other strange thing is that there is a person sitting next to Alina smoking a cigarette. Just
For the love of God.
chilling.
Are you Blair? I'm gonna ask them.
That depends who's asking.
The person who's been looking for Blair for 2 hours.
Probably.
I'm gonna. Hey, are there any like? Because I know this is artifact storage. Is there
Yeah.
any like thing in this hallway that's vaguely person shaped? Because I want to do a flavor thing.
Like
a doll or a skull or a.
there are several
yeah.
dolls, yeah.
I'm gonna look at one of the dolls and I'm just gonna like roll my eyes at the doll as if to say, "Get a load of this guy."
You watch, and the doll rolls its eyes back.
Good. You know that picture of the cat that's like leaning on a concrete step and it says concrete step, we're really in it now? That's kind of how Apia feels, but a lot less sad and more just like absolutely had enough.
Slab, we're really in it now.
Yeah, we need to figure out how to get now Alina back in their bod because we found Blair.
Yeah.
I went to like the main office where I was told to go and nobody was there, so.
Yeah, because you hadn't showed up in an hour, so we thought you might have died.
Why would I have died?
Because this place is stupid.
How so?
People have died in here before, and it's a mess.
I mean, people have died everywhere before, so like.
Apia's like physical form like gives a weird little ripple because they're kind of irritated. Just like not really any like features in particular. It's just like a kind of like a mirage, like just when your internet gets really bad and you lag a little bit, it's like that, just a little bit. They're kind of, Vale is kind of pissed. Ghibli bird thing. I look at a different doll and just like make this sort of gesture at Blair, just like, what even is this?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm so rude. And then they pull out a pack of cigarettes, and they're like the clove kind that are all black. And they offer you one.
Valerian like pulls out the pack of gum that they carry and says, trying to quit.
And they will put one in Alina's hand. For when she gets back.
Just in case.
Alina's the one with the oxygen tank.
She's got really bad asthma.
This is great.
It's not lit.
But yeah, Alina, you're still chilling in the lonely, calling out for someone who you can't see there.
Well,
Question. We haven't really been working with the archivist before. Do we know that we're going to be working with Blair from now on?
Sorry, could you rephrase that?
I think like what we were told is that Blair was the new archival assistant, which is our job. So it's basically the new team member.
I forgot what our job is.
Yeah.
I forgot what our title is.
Technically, we're archival assistants. We assist
I forgot
with
what our
investigations.
title is. We're basically the fucking Ghostbusters, and I forgot what our actual job title is.
Yeah, our job is surprisingly not killing monsters and burning down shit. I know.
Yeah, we just do
that's
for fun.
what we do, but it's not our job, really. Not what they pay us for.
It's not what they pay us for, but it sure is what we do.
But yeah, so yes, you do know that Blair is your new, is at least who Damien was informed is your new coworker.
Okay. Apia says, well, if you are Blair, and you are a new archive assistant, welcome to the team. Also, facts about Apia I feel like I should mention that are not immediately clear. They're 7 feet tall, wearing a trench coat that goes down to their knees, and appear to be wearing about 7 more layers of clothes, but are still very spaghetti noodle thin. And they have long, shaggy, black hair.
I think Blair probably gives them a once over and goes, new bones, or is that just your preferred height?
This just sort of keeps happening.
Word.
What does Blair look like?
Oh, Blair looks like Blair's like 5'5", has kind of long dark hair and permanent circles under the eyes. Today they're in a mesh shirt with like a binder, whatever, tank, sports bra, whatever, with a blazer, like slouchy black blazer on, and ripped to hell black denim pants with fishnets under it and Doc Martens.
Fair. Valerian pulls out the now quarter full cup of coffee out of their jacket and starts drinking it.
I mean, if no one's going to like shake me, I suppose I
don't know how to
eventually
get-
will
Avia-
give up the search.
Avia doesn't know how to get you out, so they've just sort of been waiting, standing here.
I assume that if someone shakes me, I can tell, but I actually don't know. Rue, you would know.
If your physical body takes any like damage, you are pulled back to it.
I'm not gonna punch you.
If someone just
Don't.
kind of shakes you, you feel like a vague like when you pluck a string, and then at the other end you can feel that the string is being plucked. That sort of sensation.
Yeah, then Apia's gonna
Eventually I will.
come over and give you a little shake, and even though you can't hear us, say, I think we found them.
But yeah, so you feel that shaking, and you get called back not only through the fog that you're in, but also through the interstitial space that you exist in when you are just a normal astral projection, and then back to your body, and you are sitting on the floor, and one of your hands is very cold, feeling quite cold, as if it has been sort of like when your circulation gets cut off and then the blood rushes back in. There's like a coldness, and inside your hand there is a single all black clove cigarette, and next to you on the floor is a stranger. And we're gonna take a halfway point break there, everyone. We'll do some more introductions and things when we're back. So we'll see you in about 10-ish minutes.
I forgot clove cigarettes are illegal in the
Hello and welcome back. Before we took our break, Alina had just come back from a jaunt in the lonely looking for Blair, only to find herself back in her body with a cigarette in her hand and a stranger sitting next to her on the floor. Also, Apia is here, who has already met the stranger, and the stranger says that they might be Blair, if that's who you're looking for.
Alina will look at Blair, pick up the cigarette with the other hand. You can't smoke in here.
I mean, I already did, so like you can.
I mean, it's not permitted. I would also appreciate it if you didn't smoke around me because I have respiratory issues.
So like 6 feet, is that like a good distance for you?
No, it's not.
Like 7 feet? Does that work for you?
Apia turns around like to go back where they came from, and they just sort of this is incredibly rude, but they just say, I wish I hadn't found you, and then they just leave.
Alina will crush the cigarette in her hand.
Apia's going back to the office and going to have more coffee and possibly look at some bones in their desk.
You get back to the office, and Damien has returned to their desk, having unsuccessfully found anyone in the stacks, and is like looking over all the paperwork, muttering to themselves like, "I thought they were supposed to come today. Maybe I was wrong."
Apia just says, I found them.
Oh, good. Are they okay?
They're smoking in the archive and currently having an argument with Alina.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh, I guess I should go deal with that, probably. Picks up their cane. Just, I made a fresh pot of coffee if you want.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Not physically, because I know that's one of Apia's powers, but Apia looks like they've aged about like 20 years. Not physically, just emotionally.
Emotionally? That's fair. You say the words, they're smoking in the archive and fighting with Alina, and you watch Damien just sort of like...
Oh, we have to call the corpse crew.
settle into their bones a little bit.
Yeah.
Just
Apia just like not offering to go back to the archives because they don't want don't want full stop period, that's it, end of transmission. They don't want.
They don't want. Yeah, Damien will grab their cane again and head down to the next level of the basement.
How old does Blair look like?
Blair looks like they're in their mid-20s.
Okay. Alina will center herself.
So like 10 feet.
She will say, I'm going to be reasonable, and I will say within a building that I'm also in, do not smoke. And if we are outside, sure, smoke, whatever you like. We're going to be working together. So I think in the interest of team cohesion, you should follow those guidelines.
So like 25 feet.
This isn't a negotiation, child.
I'm not a child and I'm also not negotiating, so. Did you have fun on your little jaunt?
Not particularly.
No, it didn't seem like you were having fun.
It wasn't because of the place that I wasn't having fun. I just in general don't have much fun.
Don't have fun.
Would you like to?
Nah, I'm good. Thanks for asking, though. Do you
Wasn't
want
really
some tea?
asking.
Do you want some tea?
Not from you particularly, no.
Your
Here,
loss. I'm told I
here.
make a great tea.
I do get the
Yeah.
feeling you would murder me, so.
You hear a
Not
clicking
with tea.
and sort of like a half quiet chuckle, and from the end of the hallway, Damien says, "She does make a pretty mean cup of tea."
I prefer it without arsenic.
Again, I wouldn't disrespect tea like that. If I wanted you dead, I will just snap my fingers. That's my preferred murder method. What's yours?
Clearly,
You must be Damien.
Clearly, I've come into a conversation. Hello. Yes, I'm Damien. I'm the head archivist here. I'm sorry you must have gotten lost.
I'm sorry, you're new here, aren't you?
I mean, relatively. I've worked here about a year. Why?
Mm-hmm. No reason, just I'm sorry.
You're new here.
Yes. That is true.
AP is coming back down here simply because they are interested in the drama.
Alina will turn to Damien and say, "She's awful. I like her." And we'll leave.
Just get up and go?
Yeah,
Well,
actually AP is still just up in the office. They're not coming down here for anything. They're just
Welcome.
organizing the bones in their desk.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the team. Seems Alina has taken a liking to you.
A liking to something, yes.
Fair enough. Do you want to? I assume you don't want to sit on the floor in the archive storage room forever.
Why? What's wrong with it?
A lot of things, actually.
People die there like every week.
He just sort of gestures around at all of the different objects, some of which are in glass cases, some of which are more free. Most of these objects have some level of danger attached to them. They quiet their voice, and he says, "The people who spend a lot of time here don't tend to spend a lot of time anywhere, if you catch my drift."
Blair will also lean in and go, "Are we pretending that I don't know that already, or?"
Sort of, I mean, I don't know to what extent you know things.
What did Harani tell you?
That you are my new archival assistant and that you come highly recommended. If you would like to tell me more, I'm happy to hear it.
No, I suppose I'm new in town. And they'll just turn and start walking back to the archive.
Sort of like, okay. Just walks after them a little bit slower, but Yeah, you can go back up in the elevator or the stairs, whatever you prefer, to the level above, which is the archive proper, as opposed to the artifact storage zone. Um, you your desk is a desk that has been unoccupied for a little bit. It used to belong to Stillhive, who was a former archival assistant, um, and but it is now your desk. It has been mostly like there's not much on it; it's pretty cleared off. But if you open the drawer, there are jars of honey, like organic homemade honey, just in the drawer.
Are there any, I'm trying to think of a way to word this, distinguishing marks on the desk, or perhaps is there a note?
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant like carved into the desk.
I mean, I don't know how
I
they
thought
would
the
have done
same
it.
thing.
I don't know if they could have carved something. They could have left a note. I don't know what their overhead is.
every new archivist, we just get a new desk and carve some bullshit into the back of it.
I mean, look where we are.
There is a sort of almost like a welcome like paperwork packet that's like the most vaguely worded and absolutely useless contract you've ever experienced. It has so many loopholes that you really like no one would ever sign this contract if it was actually presented to them. It's never actually presented to anyone at the hiring process, but you read through it and it's just like it's essentially like there are lots of risks associated with this job, vague, and that sort of thing. And like then on the back page, there's sort of like a more like personalized greeting note that is on the Institute's letterhead cardstock, and it's typed out for you to read. But then at the bottom, it's signed like it's signed in ink with Harani's name.
I read the note.
Are you reading it out loud or are you reading it to yourself?
To myself.
Okay, I will send you it in 1 second.
Okay.
I want to add that like 3 or 4 desks over is Apia's desk, which is, it has blood on it, like not new blood, but like just kind of from where they've accidentally dripped blood on it. There's also like 7 or 8 coffee cups in varying states of fullness, and they keep sipping from different ones, so it's not really clear what in the name of God is going on over there. They also are rummaging around in their desk and like pulling out bones every now and then. And at the same time, like reading over paperwork, multitasking. The perks of being 2 people. Can
Just
do a lot of
going.
shit at the same time.
Sorry, 1 second. I can't type and brain at the same time.
Lena is just
Damien,
having tea at her desk like a normal person.
like a normal person. Maria's desk has like notes scattered on it still, like so it still looks like it's a desk that's being used.
Now I'm really curious what that note says.
I will say, because we didn't really do your guys's like hiring processes, you all like got like a weird little personalized note from Harani. Like yours, Alina, I mean, I can tell you what they would have said privately or publicly.
I think mine wouldn't have been Harani because
Oh, it would have been the previous.
we
it would
have
been-
established that
Yeah.
I've been longer in the
longer.
institute than anyone else.
Yeah, it would have been the previous director, but like it's kind of like accepted to have like a personalized like note. Apia's was like, I don't know if you want me to say out loud, Kestrel.
You could say it out loud. I can separate game from meta knowledge, and I think we can all do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Apia's was about how people with their skills shouldn't be like left by the wayside, and that this is a much better place for them than anywhere else. Like they can find a home for their skills here and for themselves here. And then also like, and hopefully you can find who you're looking for.
Yeah.
So they're all in that sort of vein of like, here's a particularly ominous statement. And then a signature.
The letter is a mixture of blackmail and joining a cult.
Yep, essentially, yeah. It's Harani being like, I have something on you, or I'm acknowledging that you have something of value, essentially.
Yeah, them saying there's like no better place than here, being like, you need to stay here so we can watch you because you've just been going on a fucking rampage for 4 years.
Yeah, essentially.
So Blair will read the note and then kind of look up, read the room, look at Alina. So is it like
not Alina is not looking at her. She's just like sipping her tea and reading something on an iPad.
So is it just cigarettes, or is it like all forms of smoke and potential arson?
Arson, Apia pipes up from their desk. Arson is fine as long as we get them out of the vicinity first.
From the other, Petunia. From the other room, Damien sort of pops their head out and says, I'd prefer it if we didn't do arson in the archive.
I mean, it's really only minor arson.
Have you seen how much paper this place is made out of?
Yes.
I would like it to not. I am aware that I'm going to die in some terrible way. I would like that way to not be being burned while in a room full of books.
Oh, well, this won't be it.
I personally would like it to involve a mirror.
Fair
That
enough.
suits you.
Welcome to Night Vale reference, where Cecil's telling a story about his mom, and he says, yeah, I remember my mother used to say to me, you know, the thing that she always used to say when I was a kid, someone's going to kill you, Cecil, and it will involve a mirror.
1 second, I'm gonna go calm my dog.
Okay.
So she is either predicting past or future mail. One of those is true. The dog, not Blair.
Fair enough.
That's just what Petunia does. But Blair's completely normal and fine, so.
Yeah, we can tell.
I love that two of the people that are here, like Alina and I, are just like very clearly not human. We're like the weirdest members of the team, honestly. We lost the two normal people on this team.
I don't think Alina. No, Alina is kind of normal.
I don't think you look weird, but I feel like we're the two, like, out of everybody on the team except maybe Maria, the weirdest members of the team.
We're the most murderous of the team, you and I.
Yeah. I just feel like the
but
two
Steel
people-
Hive, I think, was quite a bit more weird than either of us.
Yeah, but I just mean of the most recent team.
Oh,
Two
yeah.
of us.
Yeah. We're definitely out there.
Yeah,
We're,
I feel
we're
like this
the
is
least
this is about to get a
sociable,
lot
but
more chaotic now that Maria's not here to keep us from going batshit.
I think it says something that I currently no, I think Vivian's still the most sociable of the group, but it's like Vivian and then me, which is not great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Vivian's pretty good at talking to people when she's not buried in files,
Yeah,
projecting through six.
AP is
new
not good at
eyes.
anything but vibes. AP is just here for vibes. Vibes and vibes only.
No, APA is kind of like I think the problem solver of the group would be a good way of describing APA.
I mean, I will give Apia the fact that they managed to create a bridge from their headspace into someone else's headspace to bring them back from the brink of the spiral. So like that's really cool.
That was
Feel
definitely
free.
a thing we did, but it was also like did that using almost entirely vibes.
Yeah.
Is my point. AP is here for vibes and vibes only.
Incredible.
Quite literally.
Alina will point at her oxygen tank, look at Blair, and say, I have very bad lungs. And I will put this entirely clear. And I want you to understand that this is not a threat because I don't make threats. I make promises. If I die of an asthma attack and you're nearby, you're coming with me. Is that clear enough?
I think it's very cute that you think so. And they will walk over to the nearest trash can, light their contract on fire, and throw it in.
There is a burning contract on fire in the trash can.
They make sure it goes out safely,
Yeah.
Unnecessary.
but it goes. They wait until it's completely ashes.
Apia like flickers again.
Well, I guess that confirms that we don't have working fire alarms.
Well, I think we already knew that.
Yeah, but sometimes I like to imagine we live in a place with, some level of safety standards.
I think if the archive was going to be safe, it wouldn't exist.
Well, I guess that's fair. And Damien just sort of like looks out at the office and like they look kind of sad because they're missing several people that they started with. And like they have a new person now, but they don't know how long that person's gonna last.
I think we don't have to worry about that exactly. I think
I think we need to worry about how long Alina's gonna last.
I think the ideal scenario would be at least for the group, would be for Blair to die soon. But that's not going to happen because we're not that lucky. But Blair's definitely that kind of character, I think.
Blair's totally normal and fine. I'm just new in town.
Yes. Alina is glad that when Alina says that she likes her, what she means, because she never voices that she actually likes someone, like for example with Maria. She liked Maria, but she wouldn't say it. When she says, I like her, she means, oh, it's nice that she's horrible. It will be easy when I have to kill her. That's what she means.
I know.
Or that's what she
Apia's
thinks.
fashioning a very unflattering doll of Blair out of things on her desk. Apia really doesn't like you.
Yeah, Damien sort of like looks around at the vibes in space. He's like, well, I guess I will go back to checking through statements. I don't have any current casework for you to start. I should explain how things work here, shouldn't I? Sorry, I'm a little new. Generally, we work together on cases that are particularly interesting. We get a lot of statements, but most of them aren't worth following up on. But when we do get ones that are worth following up on, all of you and sometimes myself go out and sort of get in touch with the victim and the statement giver and anyone else who might be involved and take a look around the area, that sort of thing, and see if we can determine what caused it and what can be done about that.
Right. So how many have you encountered so far?
Total?
Or have we not gotten to that part yet?
How many what? That is a very vague question. Like, how many statements have I read?
Never mind. And they will kick their feet up onto the desk and pull out their phone and start fiddling with it.
Question, does
drive?
your phone work since you're how big is my radius of fuck technology?
You're a couple desks away, so the phone is working.
Okay.
Do you know how
Just
to drive,
curious.
Blair?
Oh yeah,
Or
just
rather-
for Blair's reference, there is no computer on APA's desk.
Or
Yeah,
rather,
there's no
removed.
technology at all on my desk except for a tape recorder.
I'll rephrase my question. Do you have a driver's license, Blair?
Driver's license.
Do you?
I mean, I could probably get one.
It will be useful if you did, yes.
I mean, I'd rather like take an Uber, but
I'd rather not take an Uber.
Right, I'm saying it would be convenient for the group.
are you paying for it?
I mean, the Institute probably can pay for it, yes.
The Institute usually reimburses for gas and that sort of thing.
It's reimbursed us for a lot of silly things.
Y'all bought several $1,000s worth of art. on the Institute's dime, you were like, yeah, I'll just buy a bunch of art from Laura's art collection.
I mean, they're not like giving us health care, so like boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I buy art on company dime.
Correct. You are correct.
I'm just saying, if you want to be useful, which I don't necessarily believe that you want to be, you should get one because we usually need a designated driver in the team.
So are you going to teach me how to drive?
Do you not know how to drive?
No.
I mean, I can probably teach you.
Yeah, but
Do you
like, do
want
you
to?
want to?
If
Do
we're
I
okay
want
with
to?
breaking the law, I can drive.
I can drive too if we're okay with breaking the law. I mean, we are okay with breaking the law. You know, it's just it's sometimes
draw the line
convenient
at
not to
traffic
do
laws.
so.
Arson and
Murder and
murder is
arson are
fine, but we're
fine.
not going to commit a traffic fraud.
I mean, I know how to drive. I just can't legally, not since the incident. I refuse to call it an accident. It wasn't.
APA, out of character, APA can't get a driver's license because they don't legally exist.
Damien sort of kicks back in their chair to a point where you can see them from their desk. And he says, I can drive. I just don't leave this place as often. But if Maria is on assignment and Vivian is busy, I'm capable of driving us.
You should get out in the field more.
I find I'm not exactly useful somewhere that isn't here.
Yet.
We rather keep them alive also. It's a hassle to have to get a new archivist.
Why would they not be alive?
Because people die, Blair.
Yes.
Do they?
A lot.
I was under the impression you had some understanding of this job.
Do I?
PbtA reaches into their desk and pulls out a human skull.
It's not a new one.
It is. Thank you for noticing.
I like the teeth.
I mean, no one has died in the last, 2 assignments?
Yeah. We've been pretty
2.
good about the last couple.
So who knows? Maybe your luck will change. I don't
We almost
Maybe.
killed those gym bros.
What?
We almost killed those gym bros.
We almost
We
did,
didn't.
but we didn't. I didn't.
Killed a building though, which is I think a new record.
Yeah,
What type of
Killed the
building?
building.
the gym.
What type of gym?
I don't know much about gyms. Something CrossFit maybe?
Gyms have types.
That's not the type I mean.
It used to be a slaughterhouse. Does that narrow it down?
It does.
That's the kind of gym that I killed last time, yes.
That's very impressive.
Sure.
And what else have you killed?
We killed that cult guy, I think.
Which one?
PbtA trying to figure out how to phrase like which cult we're talking about.
Oh, which cult?
That does not narrow it down at all.
It was the silent one, wasn't it? The one where it like sucks all the sound out of the room.
Oh, the sensory deprivation one. Yes.
Yeah, the sensory deprivation cult.
Which, sorry, Petunia keeps barking. You remember is called the Church of the Rising Star.
Yeah. You also killed those cult members from the Lightless Flame, right? We obliterated them.
If we're gonna be here listing things I killed, we're gonna be a while. We're not gonna get any work done.
Isn't this work?
Damien already said that he doesn't have any work for us right now, so
Might as well fill in the new hire.
Like,
how
since the
familiar
last
are you?
team formed, we had the Earth guy, we had the cult, we had the flame cult, which is different than the other cult.
Yeah, so the fire cult is the searing host,
Right.
and the dark cult is the rising star.
We killed a building. I've been killing some ghosts, but that's not on company time.
Oh.
Extracurricular ghost hunting, Alina? How's it going?
Yeah, it's a chore. It's like picking trash up.
Blair, how familiar
Oh,
are
the
you
spiders,
with the
right.
supernatural?
I had forgotten about the spiders. The people made out of spiders. Yes.
Sorry, what did you ask? What did you ask?
How
Catherine?
familiar are you with the supernatural, Blair?
Enough.
Um, well, I hope you want to get more familiar with it.
Oh, I am
Also-
a student of the world, Damien.
Oh. Then I guess this is as good a place as any to be. I mean, you are welcome to peruse. And he like points towards the door, the stacks downstairs. Those are all of our old case files, inactive or abandoned. Vivian has spent a fair amount of time there lately, but if you want to have a more concrete view of what we do here.
Perhaps.
Since we're getting to know each other, Alina's just reading while she drinks tea and talks. Since we're getting to know each other, I have a question. What do your parents do?
Parents?
You have parents, don't you? Or you did at some point?
At some point.
What did they do? You sound like you come from a quote unquote good family.
Sure.
Alina keeps drinking tea very nonchalantly.
What did your parents do?
Died very
Before
long
that
time
bit.
ago.
Before that bit.
My father, I think, did some work with leather. My mother died before I was born. Or right as I was born, I suppose.
After a long and awkward pause, Damien sort of clears his throat and says, my parents were teachers.
That tracks.
Emphasis on the were, but they were teachers.
Oh.
JPS says absolutely nothing.
Contributes to the silence.
It's like we're all sharing in a very hostile way.
It's like in like grade school when you have to come to class with like 3 facts about yourself, but they're all like not painful, but like they're all pointed. Or when you have to ask those icebreaker questions, but the questions are like, what's your trauma? Let's unpack it. Welcome to the archive.
Yeah.
Well, if you need any help settling in, let me know. Or let someone else know if you'd rather talk to someone else about it. If you have problems with me, you can go above my head. I'm not offended.
Why, how tall are you?
5'4".
So I'm already above your head.
You and everyone else in this building, yes. But that's all right. I have a step stool. Or I can ask Vivian to get things off of high shelves. Or Apia, but Vivian's usually already in the stack, so I can just ask her.
Vivian and Blair will kind of look around for.
Points to the other office that's like the door is closed. That's Vivian's desk. Again, she's presently occupied. She is one of the, well, not nearly as long with us as Alina, but one of the archival assistants who's been here for a couple of years.
And she seems to have taken to it quite well.
Yes, she's very good at reading between the lines and making connections.
How dangerous for her.
Well, she's not in my position, so.
Not yet.
I'll take that as it is and just continue with my day. Anyway, you're welcome to do whatever you'd like. If I have something that requires attention, I will bring it up to you all. And sort of heads back into their office. You're free to go home or do whatever you'd like.
I will say, out of character, Apia is going to go murder a cop. They're
Good.
upset.
I love that for them. Their coping mechanism is actually the only valid one on Earth. No more anything else, just Apia killing cops.
Apia's other pastime is hanging out at bars, and the instant they see someone being creepy, they follow them and kill them in an alleyway.
I love that for them. No cops at Pride, just Apia.
I was muted.
Oh yeah, you were. Sorry, Ro.
I muted myself and then I forgot. At some point I will go to Damien's office.
Yeah. Yeah, you can go in. It's not locked.
Yeah. I will lock though behind me.
Fair enough.
Look around.
They're sitting at their desk with like one leg pulled up under their chin and like just reading.
One leg pulled
So-
under.
So like I'm going to see if I can show you what I mean. They're sitting like this.
Oh,
they're-
okay.
They're
Okay.
holding one leg to their chest and resting their chin on it,
Hmm.
and the other one is down.
Okay. Alina will walk in. Am I
Hello.
interrupting something?
Nothing I can't get back to.
So I wouldn't necessarily call them a spy, but Blair's clearly here on Hrani's part to mess with us somehow. That's clear, right? I'm not asking, I'm stating it.
They're certainly not the usual type of person we get. So
They're not particularly helpful.
I mean, I guess I don't know if they're helpful yet in terms of investigating. I don't know if it's necessarily a test from within or a test from without.
What do you mean from without?
I don't see a reason why someone might not want to infiltrate the Institute.
I don't think Harani would allow that, but it.
Damien sort of like chuckles quietly. And says, I guess I am a little paranoid, all things considered.
Yes, I mean, if they were from without, let's just say, I think they would be friendly.
Maybe, I don't know, but you're
It
probably
does.
right.
They do have a, how do the kids say, a vibration?
A vibe.
That. Similar to the director. It feels like they're in the room with us.
Unpleasant to think about. I mean, I guess I should say they're always in the room with us. Regrettably.
Yes, but now they will be with us in the investigations outside, which I don't particularly care for.
I mean,
They do seem resourceful, though. Or they do seem resourceful, though, or full of themselves, either confident or completely narcissistic. One of the two. Hard to tell apart.
Well, from the brief conversation we've had, they have some level of understanding of what happens here, and that's more to say than some of our new hires. So at least maybe they knew what they were getting into. Which I'm not sure if that's good or bad.
Do me a favor, you're better at investigating than me. If you can, try to get something on their background, maybe their family, since we're dealing with a kind of family situation in our recent investigations. Maybe see if there's a link there.
I'll see what I can do. Sometimes some time spent alone with the files can do me some good anyway.
Thanks. Is there anything you need?
No, but thank you. And thank you for the tea. I appreciate it.
You do good work here.
Your tone of voice has changed, and Damien catches on it and sort of like sits a little more still.
She will leave then after that.
Okay. He's left feeling uncertain if that was a threat or not. Just sort of settles back into reading. But yeah, you have your new archival assistant now. If there's anything else anyone would like to do, I don't have any other plans, but we have a little bit of time left if there's anything else anyone wants to do. Okay, we might just end the session early then, if that's cool with everyone.
Yeah, sure.
So thank you for coming along for the introduction of our new player and investigator, Blair. We're going to do outros. You want to go backwards? So Kestrel?
Cool. I'm Kestrel. I use Zism Zers pronouns. I'm playing Apia, who uses they, them, theirs pronouns. And I mentioned Valerian, who is half of Apia, and he uses he, him, his pronouns. I'm going to plug my art Twitter because I'm doing commissions currently. It's Azelfaphage Art, which I can't spell off the top of my head. So, I'm sorry.
Kestrel's art's really good.
Thank you.
And then Ro, to next.
Hey, I'm Ro, and you can find me on Twitter. I'm sorry, I am Ro. I use they, them pronouns. I've been playing Alina, who uses she, her pronouns, and you can find me on Twitter at Ro Violich, or you can follow the webcomic, the fantasy webcomic that I write, which my partner illustrates. We're currently in a bit of a hiatus, but at some point we will go back to it. It's called Of Dwarfs and Men. You can look for it like that on Twitter, or you can go to the website, which is arlefcomics.com, which is
Yes.
Yeah. And you can look for it there. It's kind of standard fantasy if you're into that. As bad as that sounds, I hope it's good.
Quinn.
Hi, hello. I am Quinn. She, they pronouns. For me, I've been playing Blair, who uses they, she pronouns, who is totally normal and definitely fine. You can find me on Twitter at Quintastic_. I do a lot of things and I don't have a lot of brain space. So just, it's all there probably. Yep.
And I'm Rue. I use they or he pronouns, and I've been your narrator and also playing Damien, who also uses they or he pronouns. And sort of NPC playing Vivian, who is our fourth player, Ari's character. You can find me on Twitter as at Ilana Knight 13, and essentially anywhere else is just Ilana Knight without the 13, because I made a Twitter at the age of 12 and fucked myself over by forgetting the password. And I wrote the system that we use for this game. You can find it on my itch. It's free. And also I play in a Vampire the Masquerade game on Sundays over on Nerds with Dice. And I run a Monster Hearts game on Friends Who Roll Dice on every other Saturday. So you can catch me either of those places. I'd also like to give thanks to Nova, who ran our tech for today. Without her, we would not have a stream that ran at all. And also to Heroes Without Limits for hosting the stream. I would also like to thank my partner Percy, who made the layouts that you've seen in this game. So both the one that we're currently using and our starting soon and be right back streams. And you can find him on Twitter as @LiquidRena, and her commissions are open for layouts and graphics and things like that right now as well. And we will be seeing you actually next week on the 6th for a special episode where we will be saying goodbye to Maria, as Birdie, her player, has to leave our stream indefinitely for a job opportunity in their field. But we will be giving Maria a proper send-off episode next week. So instead of taking a week off, we'll be shifting our weeks and playing next week. So we will see you all back here on the 6th of July. Thank you.